Throughout this week, I want to continue my discussion of some of the stories that are part of the history of the Old Testament. I'm discussing these stories as well in my series at St. Nicholas called Not All Factual, but All True. So today I want to just talk briefly about Abraham and the importance of the Abraham story. Abraham is one of those biblical figures whom we recognize and we're familiar with his story. We know that late in life, God called him out of Mesopotamia to take his family and all of his belongings and his animals to a new land, the land of Canaan. And they traveled throughout Canaan and finally settled in the south of the region of Canaan, where late in life, he and his wife, Sarah, had a child named Isaac. And we know the story as well of the sacrifice of Isaac, that God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son, but at the last minute did not make him actually kill his son. So the truth of the matter is that there is no evidence at all of a mass migration of peoples from Mesopotamia to Canaan, modern Israel, during the time that the migration of Abraham would have taken place. The story was actually written in the 600s, about 14 or 1500 years after it would have taken place, during the time of King Josiah. Josiah wrote the story of Abraham, or had it written, because he had a desire for Israel and Judah to be one people, just as they had been at the time of Abraham, or would have been at the time of Abraham. And so while the story is not factual, there is a truth in it. And the truth is that people, now the Jewish people, are still with us today. They still believe that Abraham is their father in faith. And they still believe in the God who guided Abraham from Mesopotamia to Canaan, now Israel. And that's the value of this story, that just as at the time of Josiah, it was believed that this people lived under the protection of God, so that faith, that belief is still alive today, that the people of Israel, the Jewish people, and that now we can extend it that all people, all of us, are under the protection of God.